conference on social transformation through access to justice. Sarafina Robi is our reporter at that event. We're going to be getting updates from that. And also expect our team in Morocco, Irene Muchuma, is out there, and Tisma Sotuke, and they're going to be giving us updates on the sidelines of the FIFA Club World Cup. And also remember, Morocco, amongst other things, is bidding to host the 2025 AFCON. Esports Kenya are going to be making an announcement at the Alliance Francaise in Nairobi, so there's going to be that. And also a State of the Nation address after the first 100 days. The Cabinet Secretary for the Interior, Professor Kithure Kindiki, is going to be addressing the nation at 1 p.m. So look out for that, part of the news stories that we're going to be covering today as we move on all around the country. Remember, our Twitter handle is at KBC Channel 1. Mine is at Mr. Wahome, MISTAWA, home. Our hashtag is Sports Check. And remember, we have conversations all around sport today. Two conversations. One is about motorsport, and the other is going to be about kabaddi. Everyone's asking, what's kabaddi? It's a game that, we've tended to play but not refined it, but it's getting better here. The national sport of Bangladesh, by the way, picked up by Kenya, currently ranked 7th in the world. But in studio with us, we start with the story of motorsport. We've got the clerk of the course of the WRC Safari Rally, Gurveer Babra. Welcome. CFC.
Thank you. Good morning.
Well, so actually, clerk of the course, very interesting. that almost coincides with CNC, but CFC, that's what they would refer him in rallying circles. And why are we making it here? Making the Kenya National Rally Championship affordable and having more entries. People have got cars parked in their garages and they can't compete. So something happened last year. The KMSF set up a task force. He was part of it, and they came up with a way to make it more exciting, and there have been changes. But before we get specifically into that, we were having this conversation. Jeremiah Wahome, he's part of the FI Rally Star program. He won his maiden Kenya National Rally Championship event yesterday, the Rally Sports Club Machakos Rally. But it's that he's 24, and the last time a Kenyan won, an indigenous Kenyan, was Patrick Newey 24 years ago. Good.
Well, it's great. It's great to see a young man like Jeremy coming up the ranks and coming and winning a KNRC. It was really good.
Yeah, and here's the interesting. You've seen their development because they, for Jeremy, we know he was doing single-seater cars, but his rallying debut somehow came at the Safari in 2021. What has been the story you've seen with this young crop of drivers?
Well, we've seen these young crop of drivers. For Hamza, there's obviously Makreki Mathi and Jeremy. We've seen them as young boys develop their skills, and now they're competing for the podiums. They've really grown into the sport.
Hamza now is part of the junior WRC. What does it mean for him and the experiences you picked in having conversations with Makreki Mathi and?
I think the experience he's going to get while he's out there on those events is priceless, and the knowledge he comes back with will be priceless to the other competitors, his friends, other youngsters that want to do the same thing.
Okay. Well, Hamza Anwar Santu Asad Anwar, who was known as Mr. Driving Sideways, to say that even on a straight line, he just couldn't keep it straight. Right? The conversations you'd have with rally fans are huge. But Gurveer, making the Kenya National Rally Championship affordable and, opening it up. It all started last year with a task force. You were part of it. You could give us the story of that.
So the chairman of KMSF, Phineas Kimathi, came up with, he appointed a task force. It included Carl Tundo as the chairman of the task force, myself, Baldev Chaga, Harry Bengi, Richard Onyonyi, John Kamau, and Roy McKenzie. And we were given a mandate of a couple of, there was a couple of questions of items that mandate, and we split up into groups. We looked at technical side, and we looked at the regulations and so forth. And the whole idea was try to promote entries back into rallying, see why the entries are dwindled, and how we can bring them back up again.
Okay, so let's start with this. The various, sub task force, within the task force, the lead groups that were there. Let's start with the technical part about rally cars. What was found out from that group?
So what the task force did was they went back to the stakeholders, drivers, co-drivers, the current ones, people who we know that have been on the scene, that haven't been on the scene for a bit, and asked them why are you not coming? And the major answer was cost. And so we looked at how to reduce the cost of doing an event. And obviously most of it was on vehicles, on the technical side and on the regulation side. So that's when we started looking at the regulations and technical aspects of the cars.
What did they say? Because knowing that somehow at times, there's the saying that there's so much focus on the WRC, you're trying to make KNRC look like that. What is it that the drivers wanted with some of the trying to fit in to their national level, national competition level with the kind of cars that they have?
I think the biggest thing everyone is dealing with right now is the aftermath of COVID. We're still coming out of it. I don't think it's just it's a Kenyan thing. It's not just a local problem. It's regional and worldwide as well. Obviously, we're coming out of it. You can see around the world, around the region as well. A lot of people are getting back into the sport, spending. So hopefully over the next couple of months we should see a lot more entries back into the KNRC.
Okay, so let's now start with cars that compete, because there is for example, because we'll be speaking about it later, the Equator Rally. You've got the top cars there, what is now known as Rally 2, say what was R5,
yes,
kind of car that you'd have with that Karan Patel drives. Then you've got the Rally 3 cars, what Jeremy McRae Hamza are driving. How are this dictated from the FIA level for those who can afford?
So those cars have specific regulations to them. A lot of them do the Rally 2, the Rally 3. The Group N cars that we used to see in the past are policed by these regulations that FIA came up with. One of the things that came back from the task force was that competitors feel that it was too expensive to go buy a Rally 2 car, and that the cars they have currently, the Evo 10s, Evo 9s, and so forth, cannot compete against an R2, which you can't, because they're decades apart. Technology has changed over the last couple of decades. So the idea was to give them a little bit more power, a bit more poke. So the new regulations has a B13 class.
Yes.
So the B13 class is taken, say for example, the Evo 10, and given it some freedoms on the size of the restrictor, give it a bit more power on cooling and on brakes. So it gives them a little bit more chance of being able to keep up with these modern cars.
Well, quite interesting that you're giving boosts to these cars. Previously, they had Musa Locho would have to do something totally different. I mean, just keep checking them with his micrometer, with his gauges.
Yeah. Now you see, we still have the Group N class, so those still run as per the homologation. The B13 has increased. We allowed them an increase in the restrictor, so it gives them, I think, a 2 millimeter extra, so a bit more power. We've allowed them to have sequential gearboxes to give them a bit more chance. And then we took the cars with expired homologations, what we as KMSF called the Group S cars.
Yes. And
created an S plus. So again, the same thing, cars with expired homologations. So say a GC8 or Evo 6 can go out to get a bigger restrictor if they can afford to go with buy a sequential gearbox. So give them a bit more oomph to be able to keep up with the more modern cars.
Well, and a sequential gearbox is, rather than the normal, it's the one that goes forward, shift up straight and down.
Just shift straight up.
So that, let's just get into what is the Group N Championship now, because this is where the cars was before they moved to B13. How do you then keep the Group N cars, make sure they're in check? Say like the last version of an Evo 10.
We still have a championship of the Group N. We have a championship of Group N and B13. So it's up to the competitors to choose between whether they want to go with more power and go for the B13 class and maybe challenge the Rally 2 cars and the Rally 3 cars, or remain in the Group N class and try to win the championship within the Group N class.
So actually, a Group N B13 is, the difference is just a boost in power.
Yeah, a bit more power.
What has been the response to the people who are there when it comes to the Group N and the Group B13?
Well, this change actually came from the coastal drivers and drivers. This is what they wanted. So we've just we've just answered their prayers.
GC8, the famous Subarus and the Impretas and the Legacies, in coming into Group S. How are you now going to have regulate this, especially when it comes to safety factors, the roll cage, the fuel tank, safety belts, and seats?
Yeah, so what we did with the regulations is obviously we looked at when they were talking about costs. In the past, we said that seats and belts had to be in date, which expire every 5 years. So we looked at the South Africans and Motorsport UK, and what they've done is they gave a waiver and an extension on the expiry dates for the seats and belts for the national events. So we followed suit and we've extended the life, nationally, for the seats and belts for an extra 5 years. And on the tanks, FT3 tanks, the FI tanks only needed for international events, only if you're doing the FI, the ARC or the WRC. If you're doing a national event, we've said that we can grant them an extra 2 years after being checked by the manufacturer. And we also went further to say that even if that tank is expired, you can offload the tank, you can go back to the standard tank that the car came with and carry on.
How much would I say? I mean, when people are developing a rally car, how then would it affect a competitor if you go back to the factory tank?
Yeah, a tank. Well, it varies. It depends on. It really depends on the type of car and your budget. Say like an Evo 10, if you were to buy the specific tank for that car, would cost you in the region of about 6,000 euros. But you could buy a generic one for about 1,000. And the difference is just the balance on the car.
Just that?
Yeah. And again, we only need it, it's only intended for those that want to do the ARC Championship or enter the WRC.
So that's why you now have got to go with the more expensive tank, which meets the proper. For the national, you can go by.
National, we allowed some waivers.
All right. Yeah. The roll cage. This is another aspect of it. I mean, I've seen cars. You know, the clerk of the course and the steward say this cage. I mean, after a car rolls, please, you can't continue because of this cage.
Yeah. Well, again, we have cars that are built from outside Kenya, come with certified cages. Over the past, we've been building our own cages, and it's been a learning curve over the last couple of years of how to be able to homologate these cages ourselves. And we've actually done it now. We built, Rob Gull built a Toyota Yaris.
Yes.
He got the cage from Custom Cages, built it, and then got it certified by Custom Cages. So we can do it here. We can certify cages. We're not saying that the locally built cages are not safe, but we just didn't know how to certify them at that time. But now we've learned.
What's going to be the long-term effect now for the cages that are being developed locally, such that they meet those FI specs?
Locally, look, our scrutineers have been through a lot of training to identify cages with problems, and mostly it's just it's people who have welded it properly or welded the wrong place and so forth. So for a national event, I wouldn't say that you. I think we're okay as long as you meet the minimum requirements for the cage. We're fine for a national event.
Then the other one, it was quite interesting, is how you put the padding on the roll cages. Let me just make a few. I wouldn't name people, but there was this story about how you put the padding on the roll cage and the kind of adhesive used. I know there are cases where people are using tie wraps, but they learned. It was a huge learning lesson for most of them. And the adhesive, how do you keep this? Because I mean, at times it can get too hot with the wiring and all that can catch flames.
Yeah, well, the foam, it's a F5 homologated foam, so it's fireproof. And it's there intended to keep the occupant safe when you roll. So if you look at the diagram for FI where this foam is inserted into the cages, it's normally where your head is, on top of the cage, on the sides, and so forth. It's a requirement to glue them. In the past, we've been tie wrapping them for decades. So it's just something that we did. Well, we should have known about, but we didn't know at that time.
Well, at least now there's even lots of lessons learned by the drivers who have been there. We've got with Barbara, he's clerk of the course of the WRC Safari Rally, making the Kenya National Rally Championship affordable. Then for the older cars, there's what we call the Group S and the Group S Plus. So these are cars that were rallying, I would say, 20 years ago. Sounds like a long time, but it's 20 years ago. So how then do people get these cars into that?
Well, the regulations always said that if you have a certain car that is older, you can actually put new bits in it. So if you look at it like a GC8, which was a 97, 98 car, you could put stuff in from a 2004 car, a new model car, as long as it fits, as long as it's from the same make of car.
Yes.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's going to be, you call them what, protos?
Yeah.
So how much are you going to tell people, giving the landing information back to the people who are fixing the cars, developing them?
Well, we have a lot of people that build cars who are very good at it. Mm-hmm. And anyone, I'd just suggest or recommend that anyone that wants to go down this avenue gives KMSF a call, and just gets direction on who can help them, who can advise them. And there are lots of people now that can advise them.
Well, something else that we've seen is SPV champion, the specially prepared vehicles. Ian Duncan's pickup. Nikhil Sachania had his pickup also. So how are you going to handle the people who are using, modified cars?
That championship still remains. It's Ian's pickup. It was always wonderful seeing that. We get entries from the rally raid once in a while, so it's to try to encourage them to come and join us as well.
So the regulations for these people, what is it that tweaking that has been done to keep them going?
No tweaking for them. SPV we've never had many entries for it, but hopefully we should try to push them back into it. The extension on the seats and the belts may promote them to come back in.
Now here's the championship. I call it the Leo Varese Championship, the two-wheel drive. This is one championship. I think we had 3 entries yesterday. Great to see the numbers coming back. What's being done to promote this? Because at one point when you'd have 50, 60 entries, the Golfs, the Lavines were all packed inside that.
So one of the suggestions that came from the task force was to get clubs to organize more club events, and not just look at the national series, but to promote grassroots. We need to look at small events, less mileage, less cost, and that way generate more people back into the sport. And that means two-wheel drive cars.
All right. Now, Mombasa Motor Club, Roy Mackenzie's club, is one that's been has got a very active scene when it comes to this. What were the experiences that Roy dropped?
I mean, Roy and his club members are doing a fantastic job down in Mombasa, running a club band championship, and it's for our clubs to run not just in Nairobi but around the country, to take a leaf out of his book and learn from them and see what they're doing and how that club can help their own club generate, this interest from their members.
The Mombasa, when we just take a look at it, because this is where it now comes to, how would I call it, the distances that would be set up. What kind of distances would you have for, say, a one-day clubman rally?
Historically, the clubmans were half the length of a KNRC. So we had clubmans and we had training rallies as well. So Sikh Union Club last year organized a training rally. Slightly different from the clubman, where Sikh Union thought it was better to reduce the cost. We removed the recce and there was no service. So the drivers, we've done this in the past. We used to do this 20, 30 years ago. So drivers, co-drivers, they arrive in the morning and they're given set of notes and told, go drive.
Well, that sounds like... what? A Dakar. But it's interesting for the drivers, by the way.
It's interesting. It's good for them to learn how to navigate and so forth. We don't have recce, so we reduce the cost from there. There's no service, so there's no mechanics, and so the cost goes down. Okay,
so how then would you just keep if the driver's got to fix something? How do you then manage that?
And then they fix it themselves. We said that the rules are that you can fix the car with anything that you have on board. And the rules also say that competitors within they can help each other.
Oh, quite some great that would be great to see people helping each other out fix their cars. And for the club and rally, normal KRC would have minimum 150 or competitive.
Yeah, minimum is 150.
Minimum 150, so you're talking about 75?
Yeah, 70, whatever we can get, whatever they can get out of full tank of fuel. So there's no refill. They go out, they come back.
Interesting. Now, one that's been put out there, Junior Championship for drivers. Let's talk about this and what the stand in Kenya for you to drive, you must be 18. That's a rule.
Yeah.
So, what's the age bracket you're looking at for the drivers?
I think I can't remember off the top of my head. I think it's 25 years old for Junior Champion. It's what FI has been running with the Junior WRC, and it's to try to promote the same way WRC is doing it. The ARC's had it for a little while now, and we're just trying to line ourselves up with that, so that if we can create a Junior Champion in a national series, to somehow promote them into the ARC as well.
So, and overall, how then are you taking? Actually, yeah, Junior Championship, those who are less than 28 years old on the 1st of January of the year of competition. Actually, that's what I'm saying for me. Cutting this off, how then do you encourage such a, we've got this thing of people entering rallying, quite late, unless, you're an exception to the rule. For example, like Jeremiah or Hamza.
Again, it's the same thing I just said a little while ago, is to encourage the clubs to do more club events. Small events, cheap events, to bring these, to nurture talent, this young talent back into motorsports.
So moving on to something else, for the way the championship points now are scored. So, and the introduction of the power stage. Just give us the concept of having that power stage and what it means for drivers in the championship.
The power stage was purely meant for like a spectator thing. What was happening in the past is, you'd have first and second and third would almost be done before the final stage of the event. No one would want to compete against each other at the same time during the last stage.
Okay, so yes, talking about this and the power stage and what it means for most of for the championship that is there. And something else that you do organize that is keeps you busy is that these days you visit Nairobi because of the Safari Rally. But let's first talk about something different this year. The Africa Rally Championship round, the Equator Rally, it's not going to be in Naivasha, it's going to be in Voi. What's the story of taking it down to Taita Taveta County?
Firstly, we thought we'd do something different, and we'd run a national championship down in the Taita estate, and we got so much support from them, from the owners of the state.
When you've taken a look at that, going down there, what would give these drivers something exciting? In the old days of the rally, as you head towards Chulu and all that, there were great, there were stories all about that, and going through Mwatate and places like that.
So it's basically what you just said is trying to emulate the older stages, what we used to do, but now in a more friendly, more safe environment.
What would you give us the outlook? I know you can't give the specific routes, but what's the whole idea of the Equator Rally and some of the places that people would look out for, the experiences that are coming through for you?
The Equator Rally, well, it's always enjoyable organizing any rally. The ARC, the Africa Rally Championship. I traveled to a lot of the African countries as a steward for the FIA. And the competitors, it's like a little small family. So it's always a lot of fun being at an Africa Rally Championship event, and always fun trying to organize an event for them.
So, what's the mix of the surfaces out there? We know when it comes to the safari, we know there's fish, there's rock. What's the mixture of that?
In Taita, it's a little bit more rocky, a little more sandy. Not dusty, not as much as Naivasha and so forth.
Overall, but how many entries are you looking at for the Equator Rally?
We should be opening. We've just done the regulations for approval from FIA. As soon as I get approval, we should be opening the entries this week, and we're hoping for at least 30-35 entries would be a good entry.
From the experiences of running the last actually 3 or 4 Equator rallies, they were basically the dry run for the safari. What's always been story coming back, from the drivers, from an organizational point of view? What are the learning lessons and the people who are there?
Well, I think it works the other way around. What we've learned by organizing the WRC event has promoted our ARC event. From the lessons learned from organized WRC event, running a WRC event, it has made our Africa Rally Championship, I'd say, probably the best on the region.
That transformation, we know over, I would say, 7-8 years, or let me just say over the last 10 years, the transformation of this. What is it that, in terms of the team that you're working with, the knowledge gained, as a clerk of the course, you're called in as a steward here, maybe in Uganda, Tanzania, Zambia. What is the biggest gain of knowledge from the various people who are in the team? It's
knowledge, it's experience. It's being able to, it's not just experience again, it's being able to, the face-to-face friendship you gain with people that come from a different country or a different region from Europe, or when you're dealing with someone like, the FIA when they come from the WRC, and that relationship that you build up with these key officials or competitors, which helps run events, I think, in my opinion.
WRC Safari, 2 events done, 2 events done, 2021, 2022. The temptation to take the rally away from Naivasha has been there, but we know this year sticking to the same location.
Yeah, this year we're definitely in the same place. We're in Naivasha. I think we're allowed to move if we want to for next year.
Maybe you could just give us an idea. Last year something happened. Last year you were given the dispensation to have some extended distance. Just so that somewhere on, I think it was on Dartfish. Yeah. What's the process of getting, this stages done, slight adjustments to the route, and make the safari what's known as probably the longest rally of the year?
What happened when we went out for the recce and put that itinerary together, we realized we were about 20 kilometers over the maximum permitted. And we didn't want to reduce any stages because we liked where the start was, we liked where the finish was, we liked the inside. There was no way we could cut that mileage because it would affect our route. So we just asked our FIA, listen, is it okay if we just left it the way it was? And they said, yeah. So that's why we applied for the waiver.
And to have that stage, maintained such that you've got that extended distance, what does the FIA team that comes to inspect, what do they come and look for example, on that stage?
They ensure that it's major things, safety, to ensure it's safe for the crews, safe for spectators, safe for the people that live around that area.
So, overall this year?
Conditions, the climate was a little bit tougher, it was a bit drier than it was in 2021. Toyota came out with 4 cars, 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Getting into stages, taking a look at it, trying to get into stages at very odd hours, so that they're on time. Others probably getting into rally traffic.
We saw this in 2021. We opened up the stages, and then there was a huge influx of people on the main road trying to get into the stages, which caused a lot of traffic disruption. So what we did in 2022 was we left the stages open. So anyone that wanted to come in, say 12 or 24 hours before, could come in, set up camp, and sit and relax, do the barbecue, and watch the rally cars go by. And those are the spectators that sat. They enjoyed. They were out of the way, and we didn't have any problems with them.
So for this year, what would be the? I think there was a plan last year where people, you could get buses so that you have less traffic. What could be in the offing this time around for spectators?
What's happened is there's a few private companies around that have got permission from the landowners to create campsites within the stages. So that's one way to do it. There's some stages that are open to the public a day before, so you could go in and set up.
The other one, people have got to know how that the safari is got a 3-star rating when it comes to matters environment. Just tell us the process of getting this 3-star rating.
Okay, we have someone in the office that does environmental stuff. It's not my forte. I'm not sure exactly how it's done, but there's specific articles that you need to be able to show the FI that you've looked at and you've accomplished. It's from the feedback from obviously the I'm not sure it's done, but the FI just look at what we've done environmentally. And make sure that it's in line with their policy. Really putting a lot of effort into it. They put up they plant a lot of trees at.
Good, Barbara. Speaking about all of this, and now for the WRC Safari 2023, things that people should know, changes when, for example, when it comes to things like the cars that are coming in, the use of, the fact that it's hybrid, and the what the FI is trying to do to move into sustainable fuel.
So, like we saw last year, we have the hybrid cars. Not just the hybrid cars, they've even FI is promoting a new fuel as well, a fully renewable fuel. It's built by a company called P1 Fuels, and it's completely renewable, no fossil fuels.
Interesting. So how does that work? Because it will be interesting to see because I know Brazil are the ones who do fuels from cane and
so fuel from seeds and from biomass, and it's all put together, and it comes up with this race fuel that is renewable. It's quite something.
Well, gasohol, that's the name I was looking for. That's what because in Brazil you must do the blend. You can just do a fossil fuel. How eventually what would they? How if you're to get that? How affordable is it? For people who would want to compete, say in the Rally 2 class, or the top drivers in the ARC, if you were to speak. So
for the World Rally Championship, we are only permitted to use one fuel supply, and that is P1 Fuels, and that's that renewable fuel. So all our cars, when they enter the WRC event, they run that fuel.
Which means that everyone fuels at one point, because I've seen that at the service park. So for the rest of the competitors, what would be the access to this renewable fuel?
Well, it's still new. We're seeing it in WRC, we're seeing it in other disciplines around the world, and I think over the next couple of years, maybe decades or so, we should see it come and filter it down. Hybrid cars have been around for the last decade or so, and in Kenya we're just seeing them on the roads now as public cars.
The other one is the tires. I have seen people say we actually need tires is a very important cost for any rally driver. How do you go around this?
Tires. When you look at tires for rally cars, they're consumables. It's something you use and throw away. It's one of those things that they must buy. What happens with WRC is once we release the regulations and the rally guides, it gives them access. They have order forms that they can send Pirelli, and Pirelli, when they come down for the event, they come with all the tires.
Being at the rally, I think 2021, where the media center was just close to where the tire check is. What goes on at that tent?
The tire check, every tire has a RFID implanted inside, and that tire is basically what the scrutineers do is they mark these tires for that specific car. So if me and you are racing, we have a number of tires that are limited to us. I think it's 24, 26, and those tires, your tires are for you, my tires are for me, and we can't swap. So I can't give you my tire, and that's what they're checking to make sure that they haven't exceeded the number of tires that they're permitted.
The other one is because I've actually seen, for example, on the final day when you don't have what I would call a service on day 3, where you find that the drivers have got to go check this. How do you keep balancing the kind of tires that these competitors have? Plus, there's the four moving and the 2 spares.
It's all about management of tires. We've seen a lot of it In other WRCs, you see someone driving one soft tire, one hard tire, and so forth. It's also about managing tires. Obviously, with every tire has its advantages and disadvantages. Soft tires have a better grip, but they wear out quicker.
Yes.
Hard tires, less grip, but they're better on rocks and so forth. But the handling is not so good. So it's a balance, and this tire management is quite a clever thing, and what they do to try to maintain that to ensure that they don't go over that 26.
So as this, as rallying evolves, that's one of the things that, people, we've got to keep checking about, things about tires. The other thing is what you demand of drivers when it comes to being on the public roads. We've seen drivers fined out there in Europe for, you're stopped by cops for speeding, and the fines are hefty. How do you ensure that, for example, an 80 kph zone is honored and respected by all competitors?
Every car has a track on it, a satellite tracker. So that being tracked from morning till evening. We track every single car as soon as it leaves the service park. We know exactly where it is, we know exactly what speed it's doing. And this is not just for the WRC, for the ARC as well, and some of our KNRCs. We know exactly what speeds they're doing on recce, because recce speeds are limited to 80 kph. Because recce's done on a public day. Yeah, we've not set up, the roads are open, so it's important to maintain that speed.
Overall, when these violations are made, how then your stewards have to sit and you've got to sign a document that's out there? Just the process through which these drivers have got to go through.
So the process, well, initially the tracking, we'll get an alarm that this car went over the speed limit at this point, and then the clerk of the course applies the first penalty. And after the first penalty, the clerk of the course reports to the stewards, and the stewards put on the penalties from there.
Well, stewards, he's one, so I'm sure he's definitely had to have lots of conversations with competitors out there. The other things that people should know, about what is considered outside help. Just give us the definition of this, where or third-party help coming to competitors.
It's a difficult one. It keeps evolving. In the past, Safari were always allowed to help each other to get to the finish, and as we've gone over the years, that's reduced. There is no outside assistance allowed, and it's just what the regulations are, and we abide by the regulations.
Okay, just give a description of this. What outside assistance, where the limits of outside assistance come. For example, if a car rolls, and we've seen people trying to get it back on track.
You see, that's
so just where the limits are, so that
each case is different. When a car rolls and they put it back together, when they put it back on the wheels, is almost permitted. But where say you and I are driving again, and I have a problem on the road, I can't take a spare part off you to keep going. It used to happen in the past, where manufacturers had extra cars on the route.
Oh yeah, the chase cars.
Yeah, chase cars, where they sacrifice their car to give them up. So the TIV is always accompanied with an MIV, an ambulance, with a doctor, so that when they get to a scene of accident, the TIVs are able to access the driver and co-driver, so the medics can work on them.
Now, also, something interesting that people always ask: the safari, the spectator stage at Kasarani, how much more can probably people will get to access that rather than when autocross goes down there, or when you've got the rally proper?
Away from the rally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Again, it's on. It's public, yeah.
It's public.
So all the clubs are. There's no restriction for the clubs. The clubs on the KBC have to go and use that track for autocross, for training, and so forth. We've seen. I think RSC has done an autocross there. There was a ladies' rally, lioness rally there. Mm-hmm. What was it, last year? So it's for the clubs to take it on themselves to go and use this facility since it's already there.
Well, the other one is at Jamhuri Park. And over the years, I know there's a point at which the KNRC was heavy on sponsorship. I think the entry was 14,000, but the other one is now the cost of entering rallies. How is that being managed?
The cost, I don't think the cost has gone up in the last couple of years. It's 25,000 to enter a national championship. That's maintained, I think it's maintained for a number of years now. I know KMSF is busy looking for sponsors to come on board for the national event.
I'm talking about the cost, for example, trying to bring in, if it's an ARC, there's an ARC class, and the equator can be called, say, round 4 of the KNRC. Yeah. Then how do you structure this such that the entry fees for this event-specific entry fees, are affordable for people?
The event, because the ARC is a 2-day event, it's a bit more expensive. It's at 50,000, about $500, so twice the cost of a KNRC. But on the other end, the regulations actually grants them more points for doing Africa Rally Championship.
Actually, yes, there's a bonus that comes with it when you're doing that, and that
because it's a 2-day event.
How much mileage are you looking at?
For that one, about 200 and something. About 200 right now. I think we've got about 220 kilometers competitive.
That's almost the same. And the Safari is doing
about the same.
About the same. Just about 230 or so. So eventually, outlook for the sport in the country with the change of regulations. Where are we? Where would you see people coming through? And where would you see clubs coming through?
See, that was the plan of the task force. You had to come up with these regulations to see how we can promote the sport, and we imagine and we hope that it helps people come. I guess people take out these old cars, bring them back into rallying, gives them some incentive of being back behind the driver's seat.
Then, the one thing that everyone's talking about, it's a huge thing here. Getting the you want to hit the target. 9.5, the remaining 9.5 million trees. What would you encourage members of the public to do throughout the season? Pick up the habit anytime they go for rallies or events, and such that there's a lot of green in the country. That's what the Safari is all about.
Yeah, I know there's a lot of tree planting exercises that are done around the country, and obviously if they want any assistance, is to get in touch with Safari and see how we can help them.
Any plans to get the people involved, say at Soisambu, plant some more trees there, or?
Yeah, we want to. We've been trying to head that direction. In fact, last week we had a autocross in Kiambu at Twisty Corners.
Twisty Corners, yes.
And it used to be a coffee estate, but now it's all barren. And we're talking to the landowner, what if we came and give you some trees to grow? He said, that would be perfect. So I'll speak to Ivy at Safari and see how we can help them out. And it's just down the road.
Well, definitely remember, rallying is moving into something that is sustainable, and it is what everyone would like to see and make the Safari as great as it should be. By the way, just a story that I would like to hear from you. And this is from the previous rallies. I think it was Sleeping Warrior. It was dry when the first 2 cars were going in, and then it suddenly became wet. And the videos out there, it was just crazy. It was crazy how that changed. What were the stories from the drivers, when they came back?
I think it was a very, very different surface to what they're used to, and from what they had recce. The condition changed in under an hour. It flooded the whole place, and obviously the notes that came up with from the recce obviously didn't work, and they didn't understand the surface. It becomes very, very slippery. It's not mud, it's not water. It's a mix of things.
Porridge.
Not even porridge. It would be hard to get stuck in that stage. You don't get stuck, but it's slippery. You will be all over the place, and the trees everywhere, as we saw.
Oh yeah, Terry Noiville adopting a few trees, but let's hope that it just does rain sometime. It would be very great to see how they adapt to that. We want to see a Safari with mud is what we don't know.
It worked in our favor because the end of Elementaita, when it started raining, was actually the live TV stage. So everyone got to see it in the wet. It was incredible.
Well, and Oliver Solberg said that was the best experience or rally experience that he's ever had. However crazy it was, moving from dust to mud and then back to dust and back to mud. Gurve Babra, thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you.
This morning, and hope to see you soon in Voi. Well, keep us updated, and we could go down to Taita Taveta County and have fun as we watch rally. Thank you very much. We'll be taking a short break, and when we get back, let's talk about the national sport of Bangladesh that is now growing huge in Kenya. We're talking about Kabaddi in a short while.
Listen up. Hello everyone and welcome to Engine.
How do we hear? How do we see? What makes up the air we breathe?
Let's go. Let's go.
It's technology.
Let's go. Let's grow.
Science, you and me.
Let's go. Let's go.
We're learning every day.
Let's go. Let's grow. Let's ask, let's learn, and let's love. And don't forget to make it fun.
When can we have dinner together? You want chilled mango, sago cream with pomelo, right?
Ta-da! You know what this is? Get a whip. Do you know what you've done recently?
What I've done? Vivian, it'll never happen again.
I understand your predicament. But love can never be rushed or handled like this. You're not going to figure out, no matter how hard you try, right? So the best course of action is to not do anything you shouldn't do.
At KBC Channel 1, we put people at the heart of events with our captivating weekly news features. Every day, we are breaking new grounds with informative, entertaining, and inspiring human interest stories. On Mondays, 9 p.m., we have The Cabinets. Tuesday, 9 p.m., we get inside the barracks for military tales. We delve in the world of cinemas and theater each Wednesday night. For the young and industrious, make a date with us every Thursday at 9 p.m. Fridays are dedicated for my culture. On Saturdays, we go back in time for history in perspective. And on Sundays, we get to know the process of how things are done and made. KBC Channel 1 News features a whole lot of wonderful viewing experience.
Next on Mpakani.
Zari.
Naburan?
We recover 4 adult remains. 3 male and 1 female.
Waxaan rabaa inay wada dhintaan.
Wayna ka shakeen no qorshada weyn.
Where is she?
She's not here.
Sit down.
Toka nje kabla nipige risasi huku kwa ubabini.
Uko hapa nje?
Ni mimi na Zolani. If we don't, tutakulipa double. Hello? Okay, thank you about it. Thank you.
Melissa yuko capable. Ni wewe utaki kumpa chance ya kugrow.
Yani, umechagua Melissa over our years together. Goodbye, Gabriel.
It's the third round of the DFB Pokal. A mini Revere derby in the DFB Cup.
Yusufa Mukoko! Lazier's in there and scores.
This is an old school raw pot battle. 5-time winners against 2-time finalists.
Fantastic save from Gregor Kobel.
The raw pot battle. Only one can go through.
Welcome back to Sports Check on this Monday morning, the 6th day of February 2023. It's a back to school Monday, actually reporting to school Monday for the penultimate class of the 844 education system, plus also an announcement at 1 p.m. by Interior CES Professor Kithure Kindiki on Kenya's state of the interior at 100 days. So part of the stories we're covering. Before we get back into a conversation on Kabaddi, let me introduce our sign language interpreter, Lensa Odingo, and also a story that's happening right now. It's the Kenya Integrated Agriculture Management Information System launch, which is KMIS. So CS with the Kalinturi speaking. Okay. All right, we'll be joining that about streamlining the agriculture sector, and that is at the launch of the Kenya Integrated Agriculture Management Information System, KIAMIS, that is a briefing that is happening at Kilimo House. This is a database for all farmers in the country. So, time for us now to move to a different conversation, and it is one that, I would say is quite interesting. It's a sport that can get quite addictive, but I'll tell you this, Kenya is ranked 7th in the world at the moment. And if you watch people play, they can get quite, I would say, aggressive and excited about that. We are talking about a sport called Kabaddi, the national sport of Bangladesh that's got root in Kenya, and there is the league going on, and Kenya wants to go out there and compete at the global stage. And in studio with me, immediately on my left, we have got Odhiambo Zuma, who's the captain of Team Kenya.
Yes, sir.
Welcome to KBC. And he's also the captain of a side that is known as the Kasarani Lions.
Yes, you're right.
So you're basically playing around your home ground at the moment.
We are the hosts.
You're the hosts. All right, there you go. And also, we have got a coach of the sports, the national team coach, Crispin Otieno.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Now, this is everyone whenever they see Kabaddi. And maybe Brian, you could just drop some of these videos right from the start so that people can see the kind of excitement. How did, I've been looking at some of the sports coming into this country and they're picking up quite fast. And a lot of them from the Asian subcontinent. I'll have to be specific. Yes. From around India, Pakistan, Bangladesh. Just how did Kabaddi get into this country, and you picking it up to Kenya, producing some of the best Kabaddi players?
Okay, if I may start. Kabaddi was introduced in Kenya back then, maybe in 2012, 2011, 2012. That's when Kabaddi got root into Kenya. It came in as a Sako Kabaddi, the one with big men. You had to go to gym and eat well for you to play circle kabaddi. And then from there, we went into YouTube and found out the one that's professional called rectangle kabaddi, the one that we are playing now in the leagues. Now this one, you don't have to be that big. You have to be smart, you have to be quick, and you have to just know the skills of the game. So this one involves everybody. And since 2012, we have been developing slowly, and in 2016 was our first time to participate in a World Cup in India. And we were underdogs because we had not played any big team, or we had not competed anywhere. But we were just training here, watching the games in the YouTube. We were training through the YouTube with Madam Leventa, showing us a little that he was seeing in YouTube, because by then most of our players didn't even have smartphones. So she had to see and come and teach us. And from there, we went there, and shockingly, we became number 5. Yes, we became number 5. We were the most improved team in the tournament. And from there, kabaddi has been growing in Kenya slowly by slowly, and to date, now we have a league. It's a very, very, very big thing in Kenya now. Yes.
So let us now come to this. You've mentioned the two codes of kabaddi.
Yes.
Circle and rectangle.
Yes.
Now, take us through what circle kabaddi is, and now what you are having now as rectangle kabaddi.
Okay, circle kabaddi was being played in a circular ground. It's a circle, and then divided into two. And then there are 4 defenders each side, and then there are raiders who are in a line, and they enter to go and get to touch maybe one person from the 4 defenders in each court. But now that was not that much professional, because maybe it has a lot of injuries, and it's one-on-one. It's like judo, the one where somebody gets to attack you and puts you down. So that one is not a bit professional. So now when you come to rectangle, it is played in a rectangular ground, measuring 13 by 10.
Yes.
And then it's divided into 2. Then we have 7 aside. And then in this 7 aside, there are defenders. The 7 are defenders when they are being attacked by a raider. And then when the raider goes to look for a point, he becomes a raider. Okay? So there are raiders and defenders in this. And it is 7 aside.
So here it is. I'm a raider, so all I need to go is go out, tap somebody.
Try and touch somebody and come back without being attacked.
Anyway, if you just take a look at kabaddi and see how it works, I know when Kenya, in 2016, when Kenya was playing at the Kabaddi World Cup, they were quarter-finalists. I mean, we were also proud of this, and we wanted to find out, how do we just get into this?
Yes.
Captain.
Yes, sir.
Here you are, Zuma. Your story in this sport of kabaddi. Give it to us.
Okay, first of all, I come from a sporting family, which includes soccer, but in soccer side. Like if you see, my dad, Duncan Ochieng, has played in the national team for quite a long time, the goalkeeper. Yeah, so Ronaldo Tieno also. So I came from a sporting family, and myself too, I've played for the top flight soccer in Kenya, Mathare United. So the people quite find it funny how I got the transition from soccer and then to the kabaddi. So I found kabaddi interesting because it's something that is new, and I really wanted to leave a legacy in a sport, because I really like sport. I really love sport. When I got into this kabaddi, I met a lady called Lavente Oguta, and then she told me there is this game that we want to introduce in Kenya, and why can't you come and try play it? I asked her which game. Then I ignored her, and then she...
The name itself, kabaddi.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah. I ignored her the first time. Again, she called me again. She called me over and over, and then I said, it's okay. Let me go and try. Because
why the push? Interesting. It's very difficult for someone to keep telling you, hey, come, tucheze, kuja tucheze.
I think she saw that I had a potential, and maybe some of the requirements that are required a play. I think she was looking for like not like raw people. She wanted to see like the people who are being doing transition from other sports, so that at least they can pick up very fast and to learn the game in a speed that to understand the game so quick.
Yes.
Okay, so there you are, and you finally accept to pick up the game. Yeah. What was the first thing you found out about Kabaddi that? Because if you take a look at it, you'd say it's probably one of the childhood games you were playing. But like,
Yes.
Okay. So how did you find it now? Because I know somebody will say, "Sasa hii tulicheza tukiwa watoto."
Okay, Kabaddi has been there ever since and our childhood. It's just that it's a game that has been modified into a top class standard and being taken even to Olympic and like to put it on a professional way, so that at least it's a game that people understand and the people can play professionally, just like other games that are played in Olympics and all over the world. Yeah.
Well, and actually Kabaddi was a demonstration sport at the Olympic Games. I think it was games of what? Hitler's Games 36.
Yes.
1936.
Yes, 1936.
So it was at that point, but you see, for you, just to be for you to be an Olympic sport, you need 75 countries on 4 continents, and so far, I know Asia and Africa leading part.
Okay, right now, Kabaddi is played in Asia, Africa, Europe, and America.
It's all over.
It's right now almost every continent.
Yes,
it is there because like now in Bangladesh, that the tournaments that are upcoming, we have teams from Africa, Asia, Europe, and the three continents already are represented there. So it's a game that is now getting a lot of fans, and it's now getting popularity everywhere. So Kabaddi now, everybody wants to get involved with Kabaddi. Even the CS of sports, Babu Namwamba, when we had a meeting when he was trying to talk about sports.
Okay, Coach, let me just interrupt you so that we could go back to this function where the Cabinet Secretary for Agriculture, the Honorable Mithika Linturi, is speaking at Kilimo House, and this is about having a management system, a database for all the farmers in Kenya. Let's listen in to CS Mithika.
For the good work you are doing for us. Nataka kuambia Wakenya ya kwamba leo niko na furaha mingi sababu serikali ya Sweden na FAO kwa kuona ni vyema watupe support ya pesa $5.2 milioni ili kuweza kuwa na kutengeneza data ya mambo ya ukulima katika taifa letu, na vile tunavyojua ni kwamba wakati wa sasa ambapo sisi sote tunasema teknolojia, njia ya kisasa ndio ya kwenda, hii data ama ambayo itaweza kukusanywa kutumika kutokana na support ile tunayoipata, ni data itaweza kutuwezesha sisi kama taifa kunjipanga vile tutaweza kukabiliana na janga la njaa, ukosefu wa chakula katika nchi yetu. Na ndio nasema wale wanao tusikiza, kitu cha maana ni kwamba ile data tutaweza kuipata, iwe ni wakulima wangapi tulio nao katika Kenya, wanalima wapi, wanalima mimea aina gani, ni data tunataka sasa vile tutaiweka, ili mkulima badala ya kusumbuka sana sababu hana habari, anaweza kuingia inaitwa mtandao, anaweza kubonyeza na anaweza kupata habari ile anayoitaka. Nataka kusema sasa mambo ya ukulima katika tukiingia kwa dijitali, utaweza wewe mwenyewe, kwa sababu ile habari tunataka iwekwe hapa, unaweza kuingia useme mimi ni mtu wa kaunti ya kutoka Kisumu. Uweza ni mtu wa kaunti ya Kisumu, unaweza kuingia sub county inaitwa na sub county yako. Ukiingia kwa sub county yako inakupea pia, inaweza kukuambia wewe ni wa ward gani. So ukiingia hapo inaweza kukuambia sasa wewe kama uko hapa, basi ile mimea unaweza kukuza katika hiyo wondi wako ni mimea aina gani, ili hii habari iweze kupatikana kutumia mtandao, kutumia simu, kutumia kompyuta. Hii ndio tunataka kufikisha kilimo, ili isiwe tuondoke kwa ile tradition ya kila mkulima pali popote kwa sababu ya kutojua maana ya sayansi ama mabadiliko yale yameletwa na sayansi. Wale tangu tulipozaliwa tulikuta kina mama na baba zetu wakilima mahindi. Kwa hiyo shamba hakuna mtu anafanya kitu kingine, ni mahindi peke yake ama ni kahawa. So ule utafiti tunataka umefanywa na idara zetu ya kisayansi, na ile information walio nayo na ile ingine tutakayo okota kule iweze kuwekwa kwa data moja, ili hiyo data inaweza kupatikana na mkulima anaweza kuitumia kwa lile jambo lote anataka kulifanya, ili julikane kama ni mambo ya weather forecasting unaweza kuipata hapo. Ninakwambia kutakuwa na mvua kidogo, na kwa hivyo the best crop tunguru ambayo inataka mvua kidogo ni fulani. Kwa hivyo unaweza kupanda namna hiyo. So we want to leverage on technology na mambo kama haya through the support ile tumepata hapa, kuhakikisha ile information mkulima apati tunamaweza kumpea kutumia dijitali, ili tuweze kuona vile tunaweza kusaidia kushalisha chakula kingi katika taifa letu, tuweze kupambana na janga la njaa. Ni vyema pia niseme ya kwamba tunafanya kazi pamoja tukishirikiana na makaunti, magavana wa kaunti zetu na serikali zetu za kaunti, sababu unajua kimambo ya kilimo yamekatuliwa na wakulima na serikali zetu za kaunti ndio wako kule chini. So tunaungana sote ili mkulima yule tulio naye, yule tunaohudumia aweze kusaidika kwa kupata habari. Tunataka mtandao, tukipata hii data tujue kama sasa ambapo tunapeana subsidies ya fertilizer, iwe ni ya mbegu ama ile ingine pale, tuko na data ya kujua mkulima ako wapi, ako na ekari ngapi, analima chakula type gani, ili katika mipango yetu pia ya serikali tunaweza kujua ile support ama msaada tunaweza kusaidia wakulima naye ni msaada ama unaweza umechangiwa kulingana na sayansi na data ile tulionayo. So nashukuru FAO, serikali ya Sweden kwa support hii. Nataka kuambia kwa miezi ingine mwaka moja hivi maximum tutakuwa tumeweza kubadilisha maneno, na mtaweza kuhakikisha mtaona ya kwamba kutakuwa na mabadiliko katika nchi kwa idara hii ya kilimo, na niwaambie asanteni sana, na mtahakikisha ya kwamba ile pesa imepeanwa inatumika kwa yale mambo inapaswa ifanye. Hiyo ni lazima itafanyika, and we want to see the farmers of this country happy after we are done with the implementation of this program. Asanteni sana.
That is the Cabinet Secretary for Agriculture, the Honorable Medika Linturi, and he was speaking and after the State Department for Agriculture has partnered with the Food and Agricultural Organization plus the Swedish government to implement the Kenya Integrated Agricultural Management Information System. It's going to be given the acronym KIAMIS, and this is a database where every farmer in the country will be there, and they can now work towards ensuring there is food security in the country, and also ensure that people can know where to get information from the State Department of Agriculture, those who are involved in farming. Well, remember we mentioned that it is a back-to-school Monday, the second last, the penultimate class of the 844 system is joining Form 1 today. The others, a couple of weeks back, they went to Standard 8. So it's Form 1 admission, and let's get to know how things are going on in Mombasa, and we've got our reporter Michael Mwandiga out there. Michael, you could give us an update on Form 1 admission down in Mombasa.
Well, a very good morning to you, Ahome. Of course, you're coming to you live from Mombasa. Indeed, it is the Form 1 intake in this year 2023, and for your information, it is this year 2023 when we have the normal academic calendar. And I'm here at Changamwe Secondary School just to get to know what is happening. I'm here joined by the principal of Changamwe Secondary School just to bring us up to speed on this process of the Form 1 intake. Principal Karibu, a very good morning to you. Kindly tell us your name and what are you expecting today? So how many students are you expecting today? And so far, how is the process going?
Good morning. I'm Faith Waidaka. We have just started the Form 1 admission process. We started around 8 in the morning. So far, we have admitted around 45 students. There are others waiting around the same number. We expect by the end of the day to admit around 100. We have issued forms to around 150 students. We have been given 250 students in the NEMIS. So we expect around 300 students by the end of the process.
Okay, so far I have seen that there are some of the students who have boarding materials and others are just okay. What is happening here?
Yeah, ours is a day boarding mixed secondary school. We have a boarding section for girls. That is optional. Those girls who need to board, we give them accommodation. Yeah, at the rate of the government fees. Yeah.
Okay, and so far so good. Maybe have you experienced maybe any pressure since that we have the 100% transition rather?
Yeah, we have. Like I am saying, our school is 5 streams. Our capacity is 250. So far we've issued 150 forms. There are around 150 in waiting. We have 250 from the government. That is a total of almost 500. So the pressure is there, but we will deal with it.
Okay, and so far I've seen right here what is happening just right behind here is students getting also to know the subjects they'll be taking. Tell us about the process.
Yeah, the process is when the students come, they first go to the admission desk, they get a file, and then they go, we check whether they have the requirements, the personal effects, and then we also check the boarding process, whether they have those personal effects. And then because we offer so many technical subjects, there are some technical subjects they get to choose at the beginning. We have business, home science, computer, Arabic, and agriculture. So all the students do business, but they get to choose one of the other subjects, which will start right from Form 1, and then they can drop it at Form 3 when they are selected.
Sasa, thank you so much, Madam Principal, for bringing us up to speed on what is happening on this process, and we are hoping that all goes well and our students get what they deserve. And I've seen last year, your last year's mini score, you had a 5.2 mini score, and the school is doing good.
Not so well, but we are trying. We had 3.3. We are aspiring to get higher. We managed to take seven students to the university, an improvement from 3 the previous year. So we are still hoping to do our best. Changamwe School is a student-friendly school. So we want to welcome our Form 1s and tell them that they'll feel at home.
Okay.
Yeah.
So asante sana. I'm here by Joy. I can have this parent too. Also, I had talked to earlier on just to bring us up to speed on this Form 1 intake process. Karibu tu mama, tueleze tu kwa majina, unaitwa nani na shughuli hii ya leo umeanza saa ngapi na so far umefikia wapi?
Kwa majina mimi ni Saumu Awadh, mimi ni guardian, nimeleta mtoto. Nashukuru alhamdulillah, sisi tukuja asubuhi mambo yanaenda sawa. Lakini kuna changamoto nyingi, wazazi wamekuja, wazazi hawana pesa, watoto wamepita, maisha tunajua vile sasa ni magumu. Lakini tumeshukuru walimu wa Changamwe wametukaribisha vizuri, wazazi tunakooperate vizuri. Lakini changamoto ni hiyo tu kidogo, pesa, hali ni ngumu sana. Yeah.
Lakini sofa mnatarajia kwamba going forward mambo yako mazuri.
Wallahi tunashukuru, tunaomba Mungu, kile kitu ni kuomba Mungu. Tunaomba Mungu kile kitu iwe sawa. Alafu pia tunaomba pia walimu pia tuvumilie sisi wazazi. Which means tunataka watoto wa fulfill. Changamwe ni nzuri na tunaomba iwe nzuri zaidi. Kila kukicha tunawaombea walimu wa Changamwe Secondary School.
Thank you so much. Of course, she has bring us up to speed on the Form 1 intake process, and they've also implored to the teachers to take in the students as we take into account that we have harsh economic standards at the moment, and most parents don't have money, but they're just imploring to the school and the government at large just to take in the students and wait as they go onwards on how they're going to ensure that the fees are paid on time and students get what they deserve as their right to have education. That's all we have from Mombasa County. Wahome, and back to you.
Thank you very much. Michael Mwandiga is our reporter. He's at the Changamwe Secondary School. And remember, it is Form 1 admission. This is the penultimate class in the 844 system of education. And in Nairobi, we've got Alan Aoko, and he's going to be giving us a brief on how the processes are going when it comes to Form 1 admission in the country, and get all the reactions and what the status is in our news bulletins. Remember, we've got Kurunzi Mashinani, 1 p.m. and 4 p.m. Lunchtime news at 1, Darubini at 7 p.m. And also, we've got Prime Edition coming at 9 o'clock. So, time for us now to continue the conversation on Sports Check, and it is about Kabaddi. Well, a sport that, of course, my director Brian, to keep playing this video so that people can understand. And we are in studio with the captain of the national team on my immediate left, Odhiambo Zuma, and also the coach of the national team, Crispin Otieno. And Crispin, you were talking about, the rectangle Kabaddi and what's actually required and how different. You mentioned that you have to be a bulky guy to play circle Kabaddi, but this one requires brains. And from some of the earlier videos we were seeing is how people are defending, because the whole idea is to tap somebody and then run away. So to just tell us how the smartness is that you are mentioning is required for you to do this.
Okay, like Odhiambo Zuma has said here, at least with an idea of sports, like the transition he had from football. I also come from a sporty family. We are athletes. My brother Hesbon Oduor, he's a top sprinter. He was in the World Cup. But being that we come from a sporty family,
Hesbon is in the Kenya 4x1.
Yes.
4x1 team.
Yes. He's my brother. So as you can see,
so you can run away very fast.
Yes, running. You have to also have that quickness, because your feet has to be quick. As you can see, they are trying to defend this raider.
Yes.
So you have to move in a C shape. The C shape makes you maintain you cover your guys from this side, and then you cover the guys from that side. If he tries to attack on that corner, then you come and cover him. So you have to move in that C shape to help you in covering each other. So you have to be very quick in moving. You just have to be very quick. So you have to be somebody who has trained, and you have to know where to attack and when to attack. If you attack inside, they will get to attack you. So you must try and attack outside as much as possible. And you focus on this person, and then you look behind you. Because when you are moving this side, there are people who are following your back. So you have to be quick in knowing that this side is this, they are following me, and this side I have to attack also.
Well, and the pictures you're seeing out there, you can see that was a raid. It wasn't successful.
Yes.
Ideally,
yes.
That. So let's, Zuma, let me come to you now. And you tell us about how to get in and out and defend, because When you tackle somebody, like we've just seen, that's a score.
Yes.
And when you tap somebody and go away, then that's still a score. So just take us through that as it is.
Okay, in the kabaddi, in the court, as you have seen, it's divided into two: the center line, and then one team is on the other side, another team is on this side, and it's played on seven aside.
Yes.
And also, what you have noticed is that it's like a revival game. When you get to touch a player and you manage to go back to the center line, the player that you touch gets out, no matter how many you touch, like maybe one, and then the other defenders were trying to protect him, and then you manage to cross to your hand or any other part of the body to the center line, they go out. So it's a game of revival. And
so which means they now come down to 6.
Yes. So maybe, for example, your team and my team, we started on a 7-a-side when the games begins, and then we send our raid, the person that is sent to the other court to look for the point, and you are only given 30 seconds to do that. And when you are on the other side, you manage to touch someone, one of their players, and come back, the player goes out. And then if you don't manage to get the player, if they catch you over there, you also go out, and then they send there. So when this playing is being played, you're given 30 seconds, and your team is just watching you trying to get a touch point.
Comes down to that, and this is timed, actually.
Yes.
Coach.
Yes, when you are going to raid,
it's 30 seconds.
It's 30 seconds. And on that 30 seconds, you have to chant kabaddi, 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 as you are searching for the point. If at all you lose the count, then you are out and the opponent gets 1 point. So you have to say kabaddi, kabaddi for the 30 seconds that you are searching for the point. You have to always just sing it, kabaddi, 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 as you are searching. So that guy there, he has to say kabaddi, kabaddi for the entire 30 seconds that he's looking for a point. And then there are 2 lines where the defenders are. The one a little bit up and close to the center line is called a bulk line. If at all you go there and you want to raid, you have to enter your 2 legs inside. You have to stand inside it to show that you are now doing.
So the 2 yellow strips, you have to be inside.
Yes. You have to be inside one of them, the first one, to be a successful raid.
Yes.
So if at all you don't enter inside there, and you try raiding and you don't get a point and you go back, you are out of the court and the opponent gets 1 point. So you have to enter there because there is what we call first raid, second raid, and then third raid.
Yes.
With the first raid, you can go, not get a point and come back, but you have to enter into successful raid. And then there is a second, you can do the same. But the third raid is called do or die. You have to get or you lose. You have to be attacked or you attack them. So the third raid, you have to either get a point, and then there is the second line is called a bonus line.
Yes.
If at all the defenders are 7 or 6, and you manage to enter your foot inside that line, and you lift the other leg, then it's like you have entered inside there, you get a bonus point. It's called a bonus. So you can either get a touch point or a bonus point. So, and you can also get both of them. You can get a bonus, and maybe even you touch 3 of them, then you get 3 plus bonus. So as many as you touch and you successfully get to the center line, you get all these points.
Wow, very interesting. And at the moment, the pictures that you're seeing are from the National Kabaddi League that is going on.
Yes.
January, February is going to be a very busy time for this. I know you're going to Kasarani after you leave this at 1 o'clock.
Yes.
Your experience from the first week of the Kabaddi League, you could tell us about that.
What I can feel the excitement, and I've talked to few players and I've seen the excitement in their eyes, and this has really brought live into this Kabaddi world, and it's a huge step that every player wants to play into this big league, because the previous leagues where we were playing were just at they call the Kabaddi Mtaani, where the league was played into Mtaani, maybe Madare, Githurai, and then out of the places is when they formed several teams and then played and then register into now this one we can say it's a pro league now. It's a top flight of which each and every Kabaddi player wants to play in. Yeah.
Actually, you are the captain of the Kasarani Lions.
Yes.
So how did you get people to put together this?
Literally, there was a Kabaddi team and Kasarani Kabaddi team. That's where I was picked to play for the national team, because there are always tournaments that are there so that to get the players to play for the national team. And it's also the club that I got into to go to play my professional Kabaddi in India. So yeah, it's a club that has been there, has been formed, and we have players. Yes.
And coach, this is what have you seen from the standards? Knowing that Kenya, you are considered the most improved nation at the 2016 World. Now here you are headed to another one. What has been the growth of Team Kenya, if you were just to take a look at them, and the international federation, if they were to rank you at the moment?
Okay, what I can say about Kabaddi in Kenya, the growth of the game, I can say it has been successful. To me, according to me, and with the way the players and the president of the game in Kenya has been trying to push everything, I can say to our part, it's a success. Because we have gone to these tournaments, for the first time we went to Taiwan, Chinese Taipei, there we were number 3. With the teams that were there, they were good teams. And we became number 3. That was a silver medal, bronze medal. And then from there, we went to Bangladesh for the first time. And when we were there, it was last year but one. We were there, and we became number 2, silver medalist. Behind Bangladesh, the host. Yeah. And then last year, we were there again, to Bangladesh. We became number 2 again, silver medalist. So now when we are now headed there once again, we are now not going for silver. Automatically we are gold contenders. And every team knows that playing Kenya is not a joke. They know that the Kenyans now understand Kabaddi. It's now not an Asian game. It's now a worldwide game. And Africa, we have taken it to a higher notch. It's not now the way it was. Because like in Africa here, Kenya, we have spreaded it to maybe Uganda, to Tanzania, and we are making it the game big in the continent. So it's not a small thing. And here in our country, as I was telling you, the CS told us that he is going to support Kabaddi fully because he played this game in Mumbai when he was studying there. So he told us that he will support us. And I know that the CS is a man who does what he says. I know he will come up and support us as much as he can. So the league is now making it easy for us to choose good players to go and represent our country. You know, as we were playing Kabaddi Mtaani, it was not that professional. So maybe you could choose somebody who maybe is not to the higher point where he can do the best. But now this league is helping us to get the best, some of the best. And as you are seeing, the league is going on. We have best raiders. They are good raiders, and they are good defenders. So it's easy to pick.
Now, I'll be coming to you about that.
Yes.
And let's mention something. And now, Coach, and I want to talk about the playing surface.
Yes.
And the equipment, because just taking a look at it, the correct surface has to be soft because of the tackling that happens. What's required for someone to play? And we don't have many of these surfaces in Kenya.
Okay, a Kabaddi court is made with the mat. They are called mat. And in Kenya, we don't have much of them. These were imported from India. And it's an International Kabaddi Federation who just saw that since our country improved so much in 2016, they saw it better to help us move them from India to Kenya. Our Madam President Lavento Guta tried so much because we were just playing on the grass. When we were going to the World Cup, we were playing on the grass and hard surface. Almost players like Zuma, they had injuries everywhere, because they were trying to be good players, and you have to dive. And when you are diving in a surface that's not smooth, you will get injuries.
Yeah, grass bands all over.
Grass bands, knee bands, everywhere. But now since we got the mat, they are less, but we try to utilize the less that we have. before God opens doors so that we get more. Because like now, Kabaddi is played all over in Kenya.
Yes.
In Malindi, in Siaya, in Kisumu, in Mombasa. We have teams all over. But with this league, we will get now to get more, maybe with the support of the CS and the Ministry of Sports, to get more of them so that at least each county will have one of the playing mats to get to host different tournaments and even different leagues, county leagues. And also Kabaddi is now in the curriculum, CBC. Kabaddi is there. They are being taught. So it will be easy for the kids to learn it when they see there is a league there and they see some of the national team players going there and coaching them. It will be a very good experience for them to know this game. And if they start knowing it from that childhood level, in years to come, we'll be competing with India because they are the champs. India and Iran, they are the defending, the teams that are on top there. But they fear Kenya. And if we invest well on this game, I can tell you we can be bigger than rugby. Kabaddi, in Kabaddi, we can be bigger than rugby. Well, because we have brought a lot of medals.
Actually, well, there you are giving a case for yourself. Even rugby have brought medals.
Yes.
So we want to see that sport. It's a team sport with a mix of individual.
Yes.
Now, let's, Zuma, let's talk about this as captain of the national team and the league that we have. Hey, lakini university sides in Kenya and your names, please. Give us some good names. University of Nairobi, they've got a basketball team called Terrorists. Now, JKUAT have a Kabaddi team called Assassins.
Yes.
And they are shining out there. What have you seen from the teams competing in the league as you lead the Lions?
What I can
Kasarani Lions.
What I can say, the Kasarani Lions is they're a very good team because we have been there for a very long time, I can say. And I think we are the host because the team, the tournament is played into our home ground field. So I think we have an advantage on that.
Game in a home ground, but
there is. Yes. Why? You will see when we lift the trophy. I can say for now, personally, me, I'm quite confident with most of the players, even not in my team, with all other teams. I can say that Kenya has a bright future ahead. Mostly, you can see the league is going on, and we have a championship World Cup qualification just few weeks ahead.
Yes.
So I think it will give coach an easy time to together select a few players out of the league. Like now, the players will be at top class performing, and with the match fitness will be there. So there will be no much work to do for the national team. It's just assembling them and just get the teamwork together and go represent the nation.
Now, Coach, your assessment of what the key things that players have picked up over the past, over the past, say, 1 week, and how they've been approaching these matches?
Okay, what I can say, the players have been improving. There are some players who are improving. When we started the league, there are players who are new into maybe such a league. They were new. But right now, since they have played some games, there are players that are surprising us. They are surprising us the way they are picking up with the game. Like Team Kasarani, as he has told you, most of them have been there. So it's a strong team. But have you said JKUAT Assassins? They are good because they have offense and defense.
The name is a difficult one to use.
They are assassinating other teams. They are scaring them. So they have both good offense and defense. And that can win you games if you have both good offense and defense. And that's what I'm looking for the team that I'm going to select to represent our nation, because you have to have good defenders who can also raid and get points. Mostly all-rounders. They are called all-rounders.
Yes.
The one who can go and get a point on raiding and can defend well. So JKUAT has that. Kasarani also has that. And don't forget my team also. the one that I'm coaching now in the league, Kayole and Bakassi Giants. They are also good. They have offense and defense. And Maki today, my team has a game with the Kasarani Lions. It's a very tough game today at 7. It will be a very difficult
7 p.m.
7 p.m. today. My team is playing his team. So it's going to be a very difficult game because we are good both sides.
Well, quite interesting. We will be looking out for that, and remember, we'll be keeping you updated on that. And Zumba, you mentioned something that people may tend to forget, is that Kenyans have great opportunities out in India, in their pro league, because India's got these franchise systems.
Yes.
Where there's Kabaddi season.
Yeah.
What are the opportunities that you've seen come your way and can get to more Kenyans in this sport? Because India pays.
Yes.
They will pay you proper to go play Kabaddi there.
Yes. First of all, I would like to at least congratulate other players that we did our best and also performed at a higher level, that we got to get selected big clubs over there, and they really respect Kenyans.
You can name them.
I can start with myself here with my team, Partner Pirates, and we played the same team with Daniel Omondi, James Kamweti. There are others who have started before: Simon Kibura, Felix Opana,
David Musambai,
Patrick Muvai Zao. So there are many. Victor Obiero. So as you can see, to be selected on a top league in the world, like for example in soccer, if you play in England, you feel like you are doing it. So when you play in India, they really put so much investment into the game. And one thing I'm happy about it is that now the people who are organizing all this league over there, they got attention of the Kenyan league because they have seen the potential that we have in players. And now that we have invested into starting our own, I think the world is kind of shaken, because if you have a league, it means you will have various good players, a lot of good players. So I think investors now want to come and chip in. I'm telling you, this is your opportunity where you to place your money. Just come into the office or get into the website of Kenya Kabaddi Union and see how you can support. It doesn't mean that only the Kenyan government, even well-wishers, just like you, Baba. You can just say, now I like maybe the Kasarani host, I want to invest with them, I want to motivate the players. It's allowed. It's a Kenyan game. It's not an individual game. Yeah.
Proper opportunities, by the way, coach, that you've seen. And say, for example, when Zuma goes to play in India with the others who going to play in the franchise leagues there, what are the experiences that they do get?
Okay, when they go outside there,
actually the Indian league runs when August to December.
Mostly.
Yes. In the Indian league, it has a lot of advantages. First of all, they have 1 month to just train first before they enter into the league. So with this 1 month, they get all the skills of Kabaddi, because the coaches there are more experienced. So they get all the skills. And that's what has helped us, because these players who have gone there, if they come back, they give us more skills and our players get more skills. So skill-wise, we get advantaged. And then their pockets, when they come back, their pockets are good. I won't lie to you.
That's the whole essence of pro sports.
Yes. Their pockets are good. So this makes even the younger ones, they want to reach to where they have reached, because they know if they reach there, they will get something good. So it has a lot of advantages. And I can also thank the Indian League, because they have seen the potential in Kenyan players and they have really supported us. They have wanted to make our players reach top there. And it has helped us in the international tournaments that we have gone. It has really helped us.
So now let's move on to this next one. And it's all about getting ready for qualifying for the Worlds. What's the whole process here that we've got?
Okay, preparing for the international championship requires a lot. Maybe it all goes around within the players. You have to make sure you have good players, and they are physically fit and mentally fit also, because winning is not only on the field. It begins at home with yourself and everything. So I always say myself, if we prepare well and put players into focusing onto the game, and that includes maybe finances and also fitness training, teamwork training. It includes a lot, and as per now, as I have seen, I'll call like for this championship that is coming, World Cup qualifying Bangladesh, I would like the government also to do things in a good time and help the team for preparation for the championship.
I hope you've taken your forms to the Sports, Arts and Social Development Fund in time.
Yes.
We have taken them already. I can also thank the government, because they have always tried to help us as much as they could. In the previous tournaments, they have came in and chipped in where they could. So I know that possibly even this time, they are going to support our players. And we also have Junior World Cup that's also going in Iran. So our juniors are also going there. They were also silver medalists. So we have these tournaments that are international, and Kenya is really ranked. So we just want the investors to come in, support a team in the league, and help the boys to become better.
The Bangladesh event, you should just give us an outlook on the kind of competition that you will face.
Okay, in Bangladesh, we are going to face competition against the host Bangladesh, and then we have Chinese Taipei, we have Thailand, which is also a very good team, and we also have Iran.
All the teams there are good teams, because they are the teams that are top class, and I think most of the team there are top 20 in the world, and you can see the challenge, and everyone wants to prove to Kenya that we want to beat you, because we have been unbeaten for a very long time, and you can see every team at the same time they want to play Kenya to prove a point, and at the same time they are scared of playing Kenya and losing at the same time. So it's a challenge to us also to maintain the title. When you have a title, you have a burden to prove to people that it was not just it
was not just luck.
It was not just luck. You worked hard for it. Yeah. So.
And also in Africa, we are the champions in Africa. So this qualifies us to go there and compete for the position in the World Cup. This tournament is going to be tough, because they are going to select the best performing teams are going to be selected. Maybe 3 or 4 are going to be selected automatically to the World Cup. So it's not an easy one. It's a tough one for us, and we have to go and possibly win it.
Now, I want to touch on juniors, on the Junior World Cup.
Yes.
What's the process for ensuring that you get them training and training in the right way and performing at the highest level, so that when they travel to Iran, they are ready to compete against Iran, who are one of the top 2 nations in the world?
Okay, what really happens here with the junior, you can see that the Kabaddi now is playing mostly even in the schools, and we ensure that at least we talked with the team management that are playing in the league, that at least to have at least 3 or 4 juniors into the team, so that they can gain the experience during this when the league is running out. So you can see when you are keenly that at least in the league there are junior players in between the clubs. So at least that's a plus for the junior national team, because they are already into the momentum. Yeah.
Dipping it into schools, because you said it's in CBC.
Yes.
That means now you've got to train coaches.
Yes.
There's the way sports works is that it's got its own order.
Yes.
Tunapenda kuvuruga saa zingine.
Yes.
But the coaching certification, what's being done so that if it's part of the curriculum, then the people in the schools who are going to go there and coach Kabaddi then are actually qualified.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, for now you can see back then people didn't know where to train as a coach or where to, but for now there will be camps. In Kenya there have been camps, but the Kenyans, Kenya Kabaddi Union organization will create an awareness where coaches will be trained, professional coaches, and also even taken abroad for the verification. But I know that's the thing of the federation, that's it being planned, and that it's been there. But now, since it's been in the school, they want to make it professional and as for the satisfied legal coaches. Yes.
What has been getting the coaching qualifications? Yes. As you add on to that.
Yes. What has been happening is I got my coaching qualification from India because as you are training there, as you are playing there, and then I went there for the coaching. Even the referees, they have been trained there to get certified, to know what to do and what not to do, and how to coach the team. We went there and got it there. And now we were satisfied to get to train more coaches here locally. And thanks to Kenya Academy of Sports, they have been partnering with us. We had a training event in Siaya. That's where they first organized it, when they were organizing for even coaching and refereeing for football. It was done there, and Kabaddi was also included there. And there we trained more coaches and more referees. And even we got to make a team there. So there was another one that CAS organized with the Kenya Kabaddi, Kenya Academy of Kenya Kabaddi Union, also here in Kasarani. And we trained some there, and they are qualified. But that's why we have in the leagues, we have different coaches. The ones who have been coached, trained, and they are qualified. And then we have also another one that was organized in Malindi. There also, that's why I'm telling you that we have different teams all over Kenya, different counties. We have them because there have been that training. You can't be a coach and you don't know what to coach. We have been coaching them, we have trained them, and they know what to do. We have referees all over, and the game is growing, and I'm happy for that.
Now, one of the marks of a growing nation when it comes to any sport is when you have your match officials being called up to international events.
Yes.
So let's talk about how you get, the match officials and things that they must know. What are they looking out for in a game, for example, that we have here?
Like in a game of Kabaddi, an official referee, first he has to know how to get the points, how the points are being got. He has to know where the players have to play on, and the player should not go out of the court. Like you see, that ground is marked red, and then there's a blue around it.
Yes.
The blue, if a player gets to touch the blue without any contact, then the player is out. The referee will bring him out. So the officials have to know all these rules of the game. And thanks to our country, Kenya, because we have like 4 officials who have been to the top league of Kenya, of India Pro Kabaddi. We have Julius Opio, who was there. He represented Kenya as an official. We have Eddie Edgar. He was there also. And we also have Jamal Sindala. He was also there in India. They have been there to the professional Kabaddi in India. So from them, now they come back and teach more referees. And they have done that so well. That's why in the league we have more referees to help us in the league.
Let's also mention about the women's game.
Yes.
And their calendar. How's it been growing and since it was picked up?
Okay, the women's team, they have been playing. Their league is a little bit let me say a little bit young, because the ladies, we have been having challenges. You make a good team and then they disappear, some disappear. So now, since the league is going to start their own league, they have now come back, and we have different teams from institutions. We have NOS, we have AP, we have SWAT. There are different teams. They are making a comeback to the game. And in this season, it was mainly for men. And now, theirs is like a demo. And in the upcoming league, we are going to have a very competitive league for ladies, because right now they are training and they are gaining a lot of skills.
Now, this is what, like, for you, Zuma, I mean, a convert from football to kabaddi. The question then is, how do you spread out this gospel as the players? What are you doing to, make sure that the sport is sustained, and people can join?
Okay, for now, I can say first thing we have that's in school, first of all, and when mostly when if you want to see a growth into the games, you have to start from the junior team. So what we are doing is we want to make sure that the school leagues are stable and are up to the class, and then we bring into the one, like I was telling you, Kabaddi Mtaani games. Like we will organize leagues also into the grassroots level, to at least create awareness of the game into the school, into the counties. Like we have been having county leagues, and now we want to have more county leagues after maybe the pro league. Now you go maybe Mombasa, Malindi, Lamu, whatever. And then another thing also is to broadcast the game. If we get like maybe our father channel KBC to broadcast some of the game, we'll be happy. At least it creates awareness through you people, because you reach a lot of people with this, and we give thanks a lot inviting us, because this is also spreading the game.
Karibuni, asante.
This is also spreading the game. You are part of this journey, so we urge at least people, other more media houses to also be part of it. So you have set example already, so yeah, I'm happy about that. So, and then also online platforms. Also now the world is digital. You can also check maybe Kenya Kabaddi Union fan page, Instagram Kenya Kabaddi Union, Facebook Kenya Kabaddi Union, and also the website to be updated on what's going on, the league and everything. Yeah.
The other one that I want to talk about is, I've looked at this, the sports that, a sport like this is, how then do you help people who are the grassroots? We know it's a known challenge. Indoor facilities in Kenya are few.
Yes.
It's not everywhere you'd get a kind of hall that would be used even for international events. I mean, you can think of where you'd go place your mats. How are you trying to, like, you mentioned earlier, playing on grass or other loose surface, or what we call out there, grau.
Yes.
In local language, grau.
Yes.
At some of these grounds that are out there, what are you doing to help, make it safe for people who are training where they don't have indoor facilities?
Okay, Kabaddi, originally, even in India, it is played it was being played in a surface where there is like a dust, kovumbi too, kovumbi. They play it there, and it's basically ground. Yes. If you have more skills, you will know how to tackle and how not to tackle to get injuries. And that's what we have been doing even in Kabaddi Mtaani. We have been teaching our players how to play safe, not to get injury. Yes, that's what we have been teaching them. It's only difficult when, like I was telling you, when we were playing with Zuma, we were learning them. So we were just making tackle. Now it's like you have been told Kabadis to tackle. You just want to tackle anyhow. But if you have skills, now this is how to tackle and this is how not to tackle. And that's what we have been doing, teaching our teams in Mtaani. And in Mtaani, it's just played in a grass. And it's very entertaining. In fact, our Kabaddi Mtaani was very successful because many fans were coming. Many people the ground was full all over. they are people are coming and they want to join, someone to get involved with the game. So it was really successful.
Yes, and you know what? Whenever they are playing this sport, the one thing that they say is you have to keep saying what? Kabaddi, 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 kabaddi. So you can imagine why wouldn't I go and watch that? Because full-grown adults just going there shouting one word.
Yes, I've recruited you already in Kasarani Lions. You are our fan. And to add on what Chris has said,
yes,
you are asking like this playing in mat. The mats can be really dismantled and then assembled again. So when the county league, if the county league teams can be stronger, they can just import the mats, and we, at least per county or per town, you can have one hall, and then to place them there. And then good thing you can travel with your mat whenever you are going to for a championship or maybe kabaddi mtani. You just place them there, play, and then move them. So I think when you have enough mats, it's easier to play kabaddi. You can play anywhere, even in the studio. Just place your mat and play.
Yes.
And then when you finish, you leave with your mat.
We don't have a studio that is large enough for kabaddi to be played, but already the excitement is there. So thank you very, very much, Crispin Ochieng. Odiambo Zumba, thank you very much. He's captain of the national men's team and also of the Kasarani Lions. He's the coach of the national team, and Kayole Embakasi Giants.
Yes.
And by the way, at 7 p.m. At the moment, they're smiling together. 7 p.m. tonight in the league. Yes. These people, they're just going to turn into rivals as they shout kabaddi, 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 kabaddi for 30 seconds.
Yes.
So it's been quite interesting. All the best to you.
Asante.
I hope to see, you'll have a conversation before you travel to Bangladesh with the national team that you'll have picked up.
Yes.
So we see, can Kenya now upset India and Iran?
Yes.
And Bangladesh.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for hosting us.
Thank you very much.
So, thank you. Well, it's been a pleasure being with you in the last 2 hours. Thanks to Govir Babra, clerk of the course WRC Safari Rally, telling us about this year's main events, the ARC, the Safari, and also the regulations about making it affordable to join, to be part of the Kenya National Rally Championship. And also to gentlemen here within Kabaddi, and for everyone who have put this together, I want to say thank you very much. Our sign language interpreter within this hour has been Lensa Odingo. My name is Daniel Wahome. Coming up next, Sarafina Robi on Kurunzi Mashinani and our interview program, Tamrini. Have a good afternoon.
When can we have dinner together? You want chilled mango sago cream with pomelo, right?